Let's turn to Westpac senior currency strategist Sean Callow. He's going to take us through what to expect from the yen and other currencies this week. So, Sean, the strong yen's a big headache for the Japanese economy. Where's it headed?
Well, we actually think that it's probably pretty close to its strongest point on a number of crosses. It's been stabilising for a while now, dollar yen and some of the other crosses. So we actually think that it's come a long way, and that it's actually one of our favourite trades for Q1 is to be short yen against a basket. And we do think that while it's taking its time, dragging its heels, the BOJ will take further action.
Will Japan ever get out of deflation? When's it going to be?
Not soon, and I think it was very noticeable that the upward revision to real GDP for Q3 was simply because deflation had deepened. So that's actually a really terrible reason to have an upward revision to real GDP. Nominal GDP is still very weak, and we're actually expecting that Q4 will see contraction, and that'll certainly increase the pressure on the BOJ to take further action to expand its asset purchase program.
Let's switch gears, Sean, and talk about the euro. What's the next chapter in this debt crisis? We've got the OECD reporting on the Spanish economy today. Are we going to see more bailouts, do you think?
Quite probably. It's certainly very hard to see what the turning point is at the moment. As you were saying earlier, that there is great division amongst European politicians over taking steps such as expanding the size of the bailout fund or issuing Eurozone-wide bonds. So I think that probably the next real key for the euro and this whole debt crisis is there is a great deal of debt that needs to be rolled over in Q1 and particularly in January, and it'll be a great test of investor appetite to see how much of that they want to keep buying.
What do you do if you hold euros right now? Do you sell?
Probably, yes. Against the US dollar, we'd say yes. Not against everything necessarily, but against the US dollar, we do think with the growth story looking better in the US, yield spreads moving towards back in the US's favour, that we would be trimming euro holdings near term.
I want to get your latest view on the Aussie dollar, because you would have been very smart or very lucky if you'd held it since about the beginning of 2009. You would have made about 20%. But the OECD has a report out saying that this currency, along with the Canadian dollar and the Kiwi dollar, that they're overvalued by at least 9.5%. Do you agree with that?
No, we wouldn't say it was that high in terms of where the Aussie is. It's the terms of trade are the highest since the early 1950s, and with relative yield spreads as well. Our calculations at least suggest that it's broadly within the fair value range. So you can always debate exactly where it is, and in the Aussie dollar's case, it is certainly vulnerable to a pullback from any bad news out of Asia, whether it's a China rate hike or what have you. So, of course, it can fall the way it did earlier in this year, but overall, at the current levels, we don't think it's especially mispriced.
Sean Callow, Westpac Banking Corp, thank you very much for joining us. Speak to you again soon.